Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. I continue from where I left yesterday. The Chief Justice of India, Mr. DY Chandrachud, had made a statement yesterday where he said that if the state does not act, we will. What he meant was, if the state of Manipur does not, or the state government of Manipur does not take necessary action against the perpetrators of these clashes, we would. I want to talk more about that. Let's get right into the show. Now, I think that Justice DY Chandrachud should actually make good his statement. He should actually put a judicial inquiry onto what is happening in Manipur. The reason I ask for a judicial inquiry in what is happening in Manipur is because there are a lot of questions, a lot of red flags, and these questions are just not getting answers. It is imperative that we have an unbiased and neutral investigative body, neutral investigative panel that hosts its allegiance or reports to no government bodies but to the judiciary, and this investigative body should investigate and figure out and tell us what exactly is happening in Manipur. The few questions that I want to ask is as follows. Question number one is, you see, the ladies who were paraded naked, the video that we saw, the viral video that was circulated all over the world, if not the country. This incident happened on the 4th of May, which we all know. But what is also surfacing is that these ladies had gone and complained to the police. Some say the complaint happened on the 5th of May, that is the very next day. Some say the complaint happened on the 14th of May. Some say the complaint happened on 17th of May. Various dates. Now, while we have no confirmation if there was a complaint or not, but then the fact is, why don't we have a confirmation? Who is going to confirm to us that such a drastic act that happened? I mean, to believe that there was no complaint, I think, is to believe that, there is no law and order in this country. And the fact is, it is very logical to think that the woman or their families would have gone and complained to the police. This is a very logical thing. And like I told you yesterday, it is not that it happened in some jungle or in some remote corner where there was no humankind there. It was some remote corner. No, it happened in front of so many people and it was video recorded. So to think that there was no police complaint is, like I told you, I don't think, it is logical. Logically, there could have been a police complaint. And if there was a police complaint, why was it not brought in front of the world? Why was that incident not flashed? Why was that incident not reported to media? Forget media. Why was that incident not reported to the Chief Minister like I asked you yesterday? And if it is reported to the Chief Minister, then why was no action taken? And this is something that a judicial probe will give us a better understanding. An unbiased, independent panel that investigates that particular incident and whatever is happening in Manipur. I am not restricting myself to just that incident. Whatever is happening in Manipur will give us a better understanding. That's my point number one. My point number two is, have you seen the weapons? Have you seen the weapons that these rioters are using? They've got rifles, they've got 303s, they've got AK rifles, they've got fantastic weapons. Where is this weapon coming from? Who is providing them with this weapon? Is it being provided internally, or is it coming from an external force, another country? Both ways it's important for us to know. Both ways it is important for us to know. Why are we not talking about it? Why is there no investigation on it? So that's my point number two. That is what I would expect this independent panel to investigate. Point number three. Why is there a general lack of trust on the Chief Minister? You see, I understand that when there is a clash, when there is riots, when there are issues like this, there is a huge amount of backlash that the Chief Minister of that state gets. But here the backlash seems to be absolutely different. There seems to be absolutely distrust on the Chief Minister. Especially the cookie community has absolute distrust on the chief minister. That's what it sounds like. That's what the media is showing. And that's what I understood while talking to a few cookie tribe people. Why so much mistrust? What is the reason for this? This reason has to be investigated. Point number 3. Point number 4. You see, while we all say that poppy cultivation is bad, and of course it's bad, it's drugs. We all say war against poppy is something that Biren Singh did, and we all appreciate that. But has that war against poppy converted itself into war against cookie? Has that happened? I am not saying that it has happened, but I am saying we should investigate whether that war against poppy has converted itself on ground as war against cookie. And if so, then who has made it happen? What made it happen? Who made it happen? So that's another point. Another point, the 5th point that I want to ask is a lot of attacks looks very organized. You see, it looks very organized. People gather in one place and then set fire. People gather in one place at one time. Who is organizing this? It's not natural. It's not like magic, isn't it? That, it just happened. Everybody just gathered once and said, let's do this. It's not happening that way. This seems to be organized. If it's organized, then who is organizing it? And who is backing this organization? That has to be investigated. That has to be brought in front of the people. The sixth point is we talk about cookie immigration from Myanmar. How much of these cookies are immigrating from Myanmar? How much of these cookies are immigrating from Myanmar? And what are the checks and balances? Are there really so many cookies coming in? Or which some people claim that it is changing the demography and all of that? Or are these all exaggerations? Are these all news that is spread? What is the reality of this? Shouldn't the country know about it? So if you are saying that there is huge amount of migration from people coming from Myanmar towards India, what is Indian security services doing? How come such migrations are happening? Number 1. Number 2, if they are happening, then whose fault is it? Cookie's fault or the government's fault? Cookie's fault or the government's fault? And if it is the government's fault, why should we blame cookies for it? That's number 2. Number 3 is this really happening? So this is the point that we need to clear. The 5th point is the police doing enough? Are the police taking actions? If the police is taking action, then how come so much violence? How come so much violence? How come so much death? People are being killed on the streets, for crying out loud. Are we saying that the police do not have enough infrastructure, enough people, enough manpower, enough weapons to control the crowd? Is that what they are saying? If that is what we are saying, then why has the police not been replenished with weapons and with manpower? 2.5 months, for crying out loud. 2.5 months. And we are saying that they don't have infrastructure, they don't have manpower. Why haven't they been replenished? And if they have been replenished and if they have enough manpower, then why can't they curb this violence? Like I told you, if police wants, police can ensure that they can absolutely maintain peace and decorum if they really want, if they are really empowered, if they are really given the powers, and if they are really given a free hand, they can ensure that they can maintain decorum, they can maintain law and order. They can do it. So then what is stopping him? What is stopping police from doing it? Shouldn't that be investigated? And that's what I think this panel should do. And finally, my last point. You see, 2.5 months, Manipur has been burning. 2.5 months, people are suffering, be it cookies, be it Maitis. People are suffering. And a chief minister is not able to curb this violence. Forget about political, forget about everything else. Just put everything out of the window. I am talking purely from an administrative perspective. From an administrative perspective, don't you think it is time that the center calls the chief minister, sacks him, put somebody else on the job who can actually get peace and quiet in that place? Who can actually maintain law and order in that place? Isn't it a simple decision? And isn't it a logical decision? So many people losing lives, 50,000 people displaced. What more? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Aren't these simple questions? Simple questions that I ask. So therefore, I think there is a need for judicial activism here. There is a need for judicial activism here. The judiciary needs to take that extra step. Judiciary needs to take that leap wherein they intervene, they set up a panel, the panel reports to them directly, and need be, they instruct the state government as to what has to be done. Need be, they instruct the central government too. But that has to happen. That has to happen. Some steps have to be taken. Some decisions have to be taken. Talking statements and all are good. All are good. But some decisions have to be taken. And if somebody couldn't curb violence for 2.5 months, then one should have somebody else doing it. I mean, it's a simple logic. Till I see you next time. Before I do that, today, a lady from a Kuki tribe, a lady from Manipur, like I said, from Kuki tribe, walked into my office. She was neither an activist, nor a politician, nor somebody who has been talking about current affairs and nothing. She is a homemaker. She walks into my office and she wanted to talk. I spoke to her and I've done an interview with her. I want you to hear that interview. I'm going to upload it tomorrow at 10 p.m. Please do hear that interview. It is a Kuki woman who lost her maternal uncle, her nephew, burnt alive. Her parents in some refugee camp. Every day counting, every day hoping and praying that they will stay alive the next day. This is what the story of this lady is. I would urge you to watch that tomorrow and that's at 10 p.m. Till then, take care. Namaskar.